Hey everybody, it's Shamika. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share my videos. I appreciate your support. So I just had this on my mind and I was like, you know what, let me pull over. And as you can see, I am outside. Normally I'm in my home, but I decided to just pull over in some random place because I had to get y'all together with this information because I wanted you guys to know the differences between an LLC, an S Corp, and a C Corporation. A lot of you guys are opening and creating businesses and do not necessarily understand why there is a difference. I'm also going to include sole proprietorship in there. So follow me as I go down the rabbit hole and get these gems and learn, okay, and apply it to your business. Okay, I don't sit here and talk and teach only for you guys to take it here. I want you to take it here, put it here, and then do it here. And that means put it into action. Okay, knowledge, people say knowledge is power. That's not true. Knowledge without action is useless. So knowledge with action is power. Just knowledge doesn't do nothing. All right, so let's start with sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship can be used in tandem with LLC, depending on which form you are filling out. Most times a sole proprietorship is just an individual who does not want to incorporate their business and they are simply just buying a fictitious name or a doing business as name. So it means that you are you, but you're operating under a name, but you're not a real business. Now, just because you're selling plates at your house or you're doing hair and you're making money, I know you want to consider that to be a business, but that is in your eyes, but it is not in the powers to be. So if you are a sole proprietorship and you have not incorporated your business, you are not a real business. Now, let me move on to what is incorporate and formate is, okay? So you guys will know the difference. Now, notice I said your business needs to be incorporated. A lot of times you will hear incorporation in tandem with the actual corporation, the company, the C Corporation. Okay, yes, when you formulate a C Corporation or a corporation, you are incorporating your business. If you are creating an LLC, you are not incorporating, you are formating. Or so you are, you will have an articles of organization, or you will have an articles of formation. Okay, so you are forming an organization with the LLC. You are incorporating with an actual corporation, not an S Corp, guys, just a C Corporation. All right. Now, the reason it will not qualify, that word will be used with an S Corporation, is simply because an S Corporation is nothing more than an LLC given a different type of tax status. It is still an LLC, so it would be organized or it would be formed. Okay, so you would have an articles of organization or articles of formation for that S Corp or for that LLC. All right, so we got that out the way. Now, you will sometimes hear the words sole proprietorship and LLC being used interchangeably. If you see that, all that means is, and you have to read wherever it's asking you that information, you need to make sure you understand. I'll give you an example. On the SS4 form, that is for your EIN, the IRS will ask you, do you have a sole proprietorship? Sometimes you guys are going to have to check yes, because you didn't see the LLC comes in the next question. They may ask you what type. Okay, so the LLC can be an LLC, an LLP, which is the limited liability partnership, and then that LLC can also be an S Corporation. If you are just a regular old LLC, that means just you are in charge. That would mean that you are a sole proprietor. It is not the same sole proprietor as in the one that's the fake name, the fictitious name, or the doing business as name. Not the same. So you need to read so that you can see in which context are they asking you, are you a sole proprietor? Are they talking about it in relation to your LLC, or are they talking about it in relation to a fictitious name? Okay, now we got that out the way. Here's what makes the difference in how you would choose which organization that you like. A lot of people formulate LLCs, and I bet you don't know why. And it's not because of SBA EIDL loans. It's not because of PPP loans. The only reason people create LLCs, and you probably don't even know this, is because you have the ability to, when you file taxes, to add that Schedule C onto your 1040 taxes, meaning only LLCs can be filed with your personal taxes. Let me say that again. Only LLCs, not LLP, not an S Corporation. Only the LLC can be filed with your 1040, okay? That is what we call a pass-through entity, because we are passing the income, the deductions, the expenses, all of that onto your personal 1040 form. So that is why the majority of you choose LLCs, and you probably didn't even know it. Because if you had an LLP, or if you had a corporation, even if you had a nonprofit, you will realize that you can't even use the same forms to file taxes. And if you use different forms, of course, they will not pass through to your 1040. They will be on their own, which means if you fill out your corporation's taxes on an 1120 form and it shows that you owe $7,000, normally if that was a regular LLC, whatever your income from your job, if you overpaid taxes on that, you would have a reduction in the amount that you would owe from whatever your business did. But if you file it on its own merit, then it's going to have to stand on its own. So if you owe $7,000, then your business owes $7,000. All right. Same with an LLP. Same with an S Corporation. Those are filed on different forms. C Corporation, which is a corporation, is filed on an 1120. An S Corporation is filed on a 1120S. And an LLP, which is a partnership, is filed on a K1. Okay, so they use different forms, but none of those three forms are added to your 1040. So here is what I want to tell you guys. If you are creating a business, you guys know for at least the first 2 years, you're probably going to suck. Okay, you figure it out. You got to see what you don't want. You got to see what you do want. You got to figure out your customers. You even got to see if this is a business that you even want. So if you want to, there's nothing wrong with starting out with an LLC, because you have the ability to carry it on to your, remember, pass through onto your 1040 taxes. So that way, if you spend too much, you end up owing. Now you got your personal income to rely on to hopefully drag you out of the mud. Same thing in opposite. If you did not pay enough in personal taxes, but you made, you have a lot of expenses with your Schedule C, that will offset what you owe the government, and you can turn that owing from your personal taxes into actually getting a refund because you added that Schedule C and you had enough expenses. All right. So remember, at least for the first 2 years, if you're starting out, there is nothing wrong with doing that. You can always switch your entity to an S Corp or to a C Corporation. Remember, that's a corporation. But once you change something with the IRS, now I know you guys are thinking, oh, I don't have to do this for Secretary of State. No, the whole purpose of figuring out your type of organization you want is because at the end of the day, the IRS wants to be paid, and all they need to know is which way you're going to be filing your tax form, so we know how to look out for it. Okay, so we're not just going to think about this is just for our business and making our life easy. This is really making our life easy so the IRS cannot be on us. So you want to make sure that you know which structure you're going to have. And if you do decide to change your structure, you have 5 years you have to stay in that spot. So if you say, Shamika, I want to go from an LLC to an LLP, I want to do a K1. Me and my friend, we're going to start doing this business together. Cool. As soon as we upgrade your organization to that S Corporation, sending that form to the IRS, you are now stuck there for 5 years and you cannot make any changes. It definitely is a red flag if you try to change, and the IRS likes you to stay for 5 years. I bet you guys didn't know that. Same thing if we switch to a corporation or anything else. All right, 5 years. Now, here is something else you guys may not know. If you are the owner of an LLC, you cannot be the owner and an employee. You can hire other people, but you cannot hire yourself if you have an LLC. Not an LLP, not an S Corporation, not a corporation. I'm saying this so you guys can get the differences. If you are a plain old LLC, meaning it's a sole proprietorship, you own it by yourself, you cannot hire yourself. Why? Because you own the company. So you can't own it and work for yourself. But if you have a corporation or a K1, a LLP, you can be an employee. So again, you will need to change your documents so that you can make sure that you're showing that you are now paying yourself, whether you're taking dividends or whether you're taking a salary. Okay, now if you are a corporation, your corporation owns the business, not you. That's why in a corporation they have shareholders. If you're in an LLC, there are no shareholders. Everyone who signed up, who's on that paperwork when they created the LLC, are the owners, okay? So that's why you cannot be a business and be an LLC. And if you do not believe me, please go to Google and look it up, all right? I'm not standing out here in this hot ass sun trying to tell you something that is not true. So again, if you want to start out your 2 years figuring it out, and then you go, girl, now I figured it out, we are making money. Now, if you say, Shamika, I don't really want to change from an LLC, I'm comfortable. How can I still keep this LLC and be an employee? Well, I'm going to tell you. There is actually a form you can fill out with the IRS to tell the IRS to treat your LLC as a corporation. So you can still be the LLC. You can still hire yourself, but you will be taxed. And you will have to fill out your regular 1120 form. You will not be able to carry that LLC onto your personal taxes like we did, because you're asking the IRS to treat you like a corporation, although you're an LLC. Even if you choose to elect that as an option, you still have to do that for 5 years. So during this time, you could choose if you want to stay in LLC and hire yourself and be treated as a corporation, or do you just want to change your business to a corporation? Completely up to you. You can talk to your tax advisor, accountant, or holla at your girl, okay? And we'll figure out what situation works best for you. So I hope that I explained something to y'all, because too many of you guys are opening up these businesses, and the first thing I'm going to ask is, what's your business structure? And then when you tell me, I just want to know why. Why did you pick that one out of all the ones you could have? And a lot of you people go, I don't know. Well, now you'll know. All right. LLC, pass through to your 1040. LLP, partnership, K1. S Corp, 1120S. Corporation, 1120. Cannot use any of those in tandem with your 1040 taxes. They will stand on their own. So you need to choose how you want to be taxed, at least in the beginning, or pick the way you want to be taxed and stick that way. It's completely your choice. You do have the option to change. It is your business, but you just need to know why you make the decisions that you do make, because it makes for a... Hey y'all, I wanted to make sure that I added this part before I ended the video. I did not specify that another reason why it's very important for you guys to know which business structure you're going to choose is because you want to avoid double taxation. What is double taxation? Well, very simple. Remember I said when you have an LLC, it passes through to your 1040. So that means you already have whatever income you're making, and whatever income your business makes, it gets added right onto your personal 1040. So you're only being taxed one time because they're both being filed together. But say you're in an LLP, you will be issued a K1. You will be double taxed. If you have a corporation, remember the corporation owns the business. You are an employee, so you will also be double taxed, since you are also the president or the vice president of your corporation. Of course, even though the corporation owns itself, you're going to look at the income that's being taxed as you being taxed, because you're one of the primary members, okay? Same thing if you have an S corporation. Now, an S corporation is taxed less, but it is still double taxed, because you're issued, when you do the 1120S, usually the individuals are given a form to file their taxes with, you know. So for example, say you're the corporation, you may issue yourself a 1099, you may issue yourself a W-2. Well, I guess I could say the business will issue, but you get what I mean. So you will be double taxed. So with that LLC by itself, that's another reason why you may choose to have it, is because you don't want to be double taxed. But remember, if your business earns income and it's filing by itself, that's that income that is earned on its own, although it is tied with your EIN when you file on your personal taxes, but that income is on your personal taxes. That's why when you go to apply for a mortgage, you have to give them your personal taxes in order for them to see what your business is making. But if you had one of these other structures, you would hand them a separate tax file versus your personal taxes. So I hope you guys are understanding what I'm saying. So yes, it's important to know which structure you're choosing, not just because somebody told you, not just because tax Twitter said to do it. You need to know why you chose. You may say, I did it because I want to be taxed less, and right now my business isn't strong enough to stand on its own. Cool, that's a good enough reason to say why you chose an LLC. But in all these other situations, you may find that those other structures are better for you. But you need to be aware of how you tax, because at the end of the day, what's most important to all of us is our paper. So if we're going to be out there hustling and making money, we need to make sure that we get to be able to see it. And that whole getting paid under the table, that Cash App game, all that stuff is getting old. Why? Because y'all see that you can't even hide no money now because of the de minimis change requirement from the IRS, which now states that if a person has $600 or more in or out, coming in and out of an account, then they have to send them an information report. Okay, that is a 1099. They have to actually send them a report every year. So we don't know what to expect in this upcoming tax season. So it is best that you guys decide wisely which structure you want, so that you know how to file going forward. Now, before you ask, and I'm sure somebody will, you're probably going to read that with an LLC, you can be taxed like a C Corporation. And remember, guys, I did say, yes, that is possible. That is something that you can do. It is not common. Most people do not get an LLC to be taxed like a C Corp when they can just be a C Corp, which is a corporation, okay? And an LLC cannot be a corporation. It can be taxed as a corp, it can be taxed as a C Corp, but it can never be a corporation, all right? So I hope I taught you something new. Hope you learned some of this game, and hopefully now when you pick a bigger structure, you'll know why. Let me know which one you chose. How many of y'all got LLCs? And did you know that you could not be an employee of that LLC? Some of y'all didn't even know. Okay, so don't be issuing yourself no 1099. And that's the reason why you have it, because you've been able to capture the income on the Schedule C. Doesn't it all make sense? Taxes can be fun, y'all, okay? So drop questions below. Share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys' support. Keep it locked here so you stay updated on all this game. Okay? Bye.